How you doing, man?
Yeah, good man. Good yourself.
Yeah, very well, very
Yeah.
well, thank you. I think the first question to begin with is, well, probably not really a question, but I guess there's a little bit of clarity for people who don't know who you are or why I would be interviewing you. You're,
That's up to you to answer, isn't it?
I guess it is. Please jump in
that's all right.
if I get anything wrong. But you are you're certainly one of the biggest names in the Galaga scene. You have broken records in the past. Do you hold any records at the moment?
Not for Galaga, no. I don't really play that now, to be honest. Still part of the community, but sort of moved on to other things, other games. Yeah.
That's similar with me in Point Blank. I did what I did, and now I'm out. And
Exactly. You get to a point where you don't really have anything to prove, or you don't have any personal goals, so you just want to move on. That's where I'm at the moment.
So you reckon your time with Galaga is?
Outside of tournaments or live events, yeah. I achieved my last goal in that game earlier this year. I don't have any other personal milestones or anything I want to achieve, so it's time to move on, really.
And what was that goal? Just so we all.
I got the first kill screen, so to stage 256 without doubling my ship up.
Wow!
So just with a single ship, yeah.
Man, that is insane. Insane.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising. It was actually I doubled my PB, or almost tripled my PB in one game, so which is pretty sick.
I've certainly heard of the Galaga kill screen, but I haven't heard many people who've reached that milestone, man. That's got to be an achievement for sure.
There's probably like a couple of dozen maybe worldwide, yeah,
wow,
that we know of. The Galaga community is a lot bigger now than it was before, Score Wars or, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Now, I just got off a chat with Phil Day. These videos are probably going to come out, with a fair bit of time in between them. But yeah, he was talking to me about Galaga, and obviously he was one of the previous world record holders. But there's lots of different tracks in Galaga. And for those who don't know what a track is, it's like, Galaga, for example, there's a 5-man track. I think there's a 2-man or a 3-man track. There's a single ship track. There's quite a few
marathon. Yeah.
And you, what's your track of choice?
I guess I was probably better at 5-man. So you just start with 5 ships, and you don't get any extras, versus marathon where you get extras every 70,000 points up to 1 million. 5-man is just a much shorter game, so it was more fun to play, in my opinion.
And when you reached the kill screen, was that on a 5-man or was that on a marathon?
So Galaga doesn't have a traditional kill screen, depending on settings, like what difficulty settings you're playing at. So it gets a bit complicated, but the competitive settings that we use for high scores, it's called the kill screen, but you can actually play on. You can play through the kill screen on those settings. Yeah.
So the other two, probably the most notable kill screens is probably Donkey Kong, and then probably Pac-Man, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe in that order. And
definitely.
Really cannot play past that point, which is where I think the name kill screen comes from.
It does. Yeah. So they generally call Pac-Man the split screen because half the screen is garbage, half the other side you can play. Kill screen and Donkey Kong, because you get killed off basically, and you can't do anything about it. You get killed off at a certain point, and you can't pass the screen. Yeah.
So if you can keep playing through the Galaga kill screen, what makes it a kill screen?
Well, it's called a kill screen because on 2 of the 4 difficulty settings, it is a kill screen. I think on rank A, the machine resets. On rank C, I think the machine locks up.
Okay.
On ranks B and D, it's still called the kill screen, but you can play through it. Yeah. So you can play the stage.
Yeah. Can you just break down those ranks for us?
Sorry. So there's 4 difficulty settings in Galaga. Rank A, B, C, and D. And that just depends on the dip switches, how you set the dips.
So that's really something that when you play competition, you need the operator. Or sorry, even when you're training, you need an operator to sort of get in there and make sure that the dips are accurate.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got your own machine, you can do them yourself. If you're playing at an arcade, you'll need someone to set them to rank D. We play on rank D as competitive players.
Yep.
Not only because it's the hardest difficulty, but because you can play through the split screen or the kill screen every time. Yeah.
How would most people be playing walking into the average arcade?
Default settings probably, which on Galaga is like rank A. Okay. So that's the easiest settings. Getting bonuses at 20,000 and every 70,000.
Cool, man. Cool. So that's kind of who you are and why I suppose I'm choosing you. But that isn't the whole story, because you are not just a Galaga guy. You are a phenomenal arcade player, and if the rumors are true, you're also a pretty good pinball player. As of the last couple of years, you've been getting into the pinball.
No, I don't know who's been spreading those rumors, because I'm terrible at pinball. So I like pinball though. It's a really big thing over here in New Zealand. That's huge.
You're a solid Donkey Kong player as well. I know that the score the kill screen that you got at Donkey Kong is still held at Netherworld.
Yes. Yep.
Was that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the first kill screen that Netherworld saw?
Only kill screen at Netherworld. Yeah.
Only
Yes.
kill screen. We did get
on Donkey
one
Kong
at BPAC last year, but that was not.
But I was told it didn't count because it wasn't at Netherworld.
Yeah,
so
it didn't count. So you're still
by Jimmy himself. Yep.
Fantastic.
I'll claim that. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, but I mean, Shane does go to Netherworld every now and then, so
he could just go in and put one up. Yeah.
Now, obviously, the reason I'm talking to you now, I'm not sure when this video is going to be coming out, but at the time of recording, we're probably about a little bit under a week away from the date that BPAC was supposed to be starting. BPAC,
that's right. Yeah.
For those who don't know, is a Brisbane Pinball and Arcade Collective, where we host such huge events as, the Australian Kong Off, which is the biggest Donkey Kong event. The Australian Kong Off isn't the biggest Donkey Kong event in the world, but certainly Kong Off is an Australian.
It almost is now. Like with what's going on, it almost is the biggest TK event in the world. Yeah.
We had Billy Mitchell last year, who actually took it out. That was the first Kong Off that he's actually ever won. He went up against Shane Saul, who I briefly mentioned, who's a phenomenal player. But we also have other great events as the Pinball Masters. We have the Queensland Women's Pinball Competition. We have a few of the the under 18s competitions. But then we have the Australian Arcade Championship, which you took out.
Yeah, managed to take that out first year, which was pretty awesome. It was a great event. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun with that, and that is the first AAC that we've that's been held, and you're the first winner for that. Obviously, we're not doing it this year, but next year,
which is a shame.
Yeah, all things permitted, you're going to be coming back, and you're going to be trying to knock that out again.
Yeah, well, I was super keen to come over this year and try and defend the title. Obviously, things happen in the world, which is okay. But I'll definitely be back. Yeah, 100%. Won't miss it.
Now, I guess we've touched on it, but let's just address the elephant in the room. Let's look it right in the face. The reason that these things aren't going ahead is because of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And you're New Zealand. You're from New Zealand, I should say. You're not the country of New Zealand.
I am New Zealand.
You're a Kiwi.
A Kiwi, yeah.
How has before we go on, I've decided to honor all of my guests by drinking the local beers. I don't know how local
project
is to you, but hell yeah, I got party and bullshit going on here.
Yeah.
Real good drop, man. Real tasty.
Very good drop.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Is that local to you?
It's Wellington, so same island, but same country. Yeah,
yep.
I'd call it local. Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a shameless plug for Gary. Yeah.
Well, I might as well do the same then, eh?
Yep. What are you on?
What have we got here? Couch Beer by Behemoth Brewing.
Nice. Very nice, man. Tasty drops. Cheers.
Another good drop.
All right, man. But yeah, as I was alluding to before I sidetracked myself, COVID has gripped the world right now. But New Zealand has pretty much been leading the world in the response to this. You guys are down to no cases.
We've got the odd one coming in for people coming back home or whatever, but in terms of like in the community, none, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that was because Jacinda Ardern, who I could honestly talk about for hours and hours and hours. I think she's a great leader. I'm not sure if you feel the same, but she has objectively done a good job with this
Oh,
coronavirus.
look, I mean, whether you're a Labor supporter or whatever, whoever you support, you can't say that her and her team haven't done a good job. You can't say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how have you been affected by this personally?
Not at all, really, to be honest. And I feel a bit bad saying it, but we were obviously off work for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever. But the government supported everyone through that, and I've been back at work since the start of May, really. So
Beautiful, man.
Whenever lockdown lifted, so I personally haven't really been affected by it. Being a gamer, staying inside is one of our strong points, and doing doing not much. So. So it's advantage us, I guess.
Have you used this time constructively? Have you been improving upon any scores?
Just recently, I improved my Donkey Kong score. Actually, I wasn't sure if you knew that or not, but
well, for those who don't know, where are we up to?
I managed to take back the Australasian title. So
from Tekio, yeah. So wait, you're a 1 million point player now?
I was 1 million before, but now I've got 1,121.
Oh, well, record in your sights, mate.
Oh, not now. That's another level, man. But
couple more weeks.
Been grinding pretty hard, so hopefully we'll improve that again.
You achieved a couple more kill screens, hopefully.
Yeah. Kill screen's sort of just one of those things now that happens.
Do you have your own machine?
I don't. No machines. Just play on computer, straight up on main. Yeah.
How do you find the MAME? It's a pretty good port, really, right?
Oh, it emulates the game. It's pretty much to 100%. The only thing different is the control scheme that you use. Keyboard versus stick or whatever. Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice.
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
All right. So we've talked a little bit about like your role in competitive gaming, who you are, what you've achieved. What drives you though to compete in this, I guess, kind of niche scene?
Yeah, it's definitely super niche, isn't it? But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've been playing these games since I was like 13 years old, since like 2003, 2004. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just love the competitiveness of it. The games the games were made to take your money. Yeah. And so that's super hard. That's super difficult. They want to kick you off the machine. And I just love that part of it. But I also love the community aspect too. I've made so many good friends through the hobby that I just can't turn away from it now. It's just too good.
I think you said it before that you've sort of achieved what you wanted to achieve in Galaga. Do you think there's a little bit of, I mean, personally, I feel that with pinball, for example, which I've sort of dove into a lot lately, it's kind of a man versus machine mentality. Do you find that as well? It's like you're trying to beat the machine?
100%, yeah. One of the awesome parts about this hobby is collaborating with other players and working out strategies, all that sort of thing, and trying to beat the game as hard as you can, score the most points or do whatever. It's not about versing the other players. It's about us guys collaborating together. Yeah. And smashing that game to pieces, really.
Do you use the internet as a resource to help improve your game?
100%, yeah. I mean, we've got various forums, and Discord's a big part of it now, in terms of collaborating and making contests and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's invaluable, really. You can't do this hobby without the internet.
Phil Day did touch upon the Galaga forum, which I think was he's involved with. He's spoken to you about, and that sort of resource is, I'm sure you find it invaluable to your game.
Oh, it is, yeah. Probably not so much in terms of Galaga for me, because I was sort of before the community, the massive community started. But Donkey Kong, especially, like Donkey Kong forum, the Discords, even Twin Galaxies and that sort of thing, a huge part to play in those sort of games. Yeah, as I say, it's impossible to do this hobby, especially for me, because I'm quite isolated from anyone else who plays. Not just you guys in Australia, but everyone else in America. I wouldn't be able to do these games without the internet, or be in this hobby without it.
Accepting that, like, the internet is a valuable resource for learning how to get better at games and everything. But then, you watch something like Stranger Things, where these kids or these guys are going to arcades and they're just trying to beat each other, and they're trading, trade secrets, and they're helping each other out. Is there a little bit of a part of you that wishes that you were kind of in that era, or do you Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Obviously, like I was born in '89, so and being in New Zealand, we hardly had cabs or massive arcades or anything here, anyways. But um, the thing I like about those times is everything was much simpler. You know, you go to the arcade to meet up with your friends. You don't have all the social media, Facebook, you know, all that sort of crap going on. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think it has its negatives as well. And part of me, definitely a part of me, wishes I was not just because of the games aspect, not just because of the games, but because of the community as well. Part of me wishes I was sort of around when, you know, in '81, '82, when this was at its peak. Yeah.
But also keeping that in mind, being someone from New Zealand, and as you said, is somewhat isolated compared to the rest of the world, perhaps you would have missed out on a little bit of that community. And
There is that too. Yeah. I mean, I know like the probably the biggest reason I got into the hobby was because my father used to play these games back when he was sort of my age or a bit younger, I guess now. But so I think there was still that aspect of it, but it definitely wasn't as big as, you know, Australia or Europe or America, of course, yeah, or Japan, yeah. So probably would have missed out on a little bit of it, yeah.
yeah, so I think, like, I guess the way we could look at it is that the internet kind of becomes this great equalizer for a lot of these, you know, these communities and stuff, where you can engage with someone in the States who has been competing against his friends for years and years and years, but you can learn the secrets, you can get on that level. So yeah, it's probably helped.
Oh, it has. I mean, like I wouldn't be in this hobby if MAME wasn't a thing.
Yep.
You know, I started playing in 2003 or 2004, whenever it was, on MAME, which is, you can only get on the internet, you know. So 100%, that's why I'm in this hobby, really. That's why I can be in this hobby, yeah.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about some of your achievements in the arcade community. What do you see personally as your greatest achievement
Greatest achievement so far.
in
That
gaming?
is a
Obviously,
tough one. Yeah. That's probably a tough one, but I can't look past my win a couple of years ago at the Galaga World Champs. If it's going to be anything, it'd have to be that. Like the first Galaga World Champs ever in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 2018.
Yeah.
Managed to take home the title, so I was pretty proud of that.
Was that, sorry, was that the Meow Wolf?
Yes, yeah, Meow Wolf scores.
Yep.
Galaga World Champs, yeah.
And that's still an ongoing competition that happens?
It hasn't been, no. That they are planning to do more, but it probably won't be Galaga. It'll be another game, or you know, like a different, I guess, some sort of different game or platform. Yeah. Hopefully they'll do another one, or maybe they'll get the previous winners in or something. But I don't see it happening for another couple of years. There was some talk of Robotron. Phil probably told you about that.
Phil has definitely been talking about Robotron.
Yeah. But yeah, not as yet, but hopefully in the future, yeah.
And what are your current goals looking forward in the world of competitive gaming? I know that a lot of people are hoping that eventually you'll become an ultimate denizen at Netherworld.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Higher goals?
I didn't perform too well last year when I was there, but I had a lot of fun, so that's what it's about. Biggest goal for me right now probably is there's a thing called the Donkey Kong Masters, or DK Masters, on the Donkey Kong forum, which encompasses all 4 of the licensed Donkey Kong games. And you've got to achieve certain milestones on each game to get a certain rank. So there's 8 ranks, A, B, C, and D. And there's 2 people who are ranked C, and about, I want to say 8 that are ranked D, but no one's ranked B or A. And so I want to try and achieve one of those first.
Just to clarify, this ranking system is completely different to the Galaga ranking system, correct?
This is like Donkey Kong Forum. So this is all 4 of the DK games.
That's Donkey Kong 1, well, Donkey Kong Jr.
Yep.
Donkey Kong 2,
3,
not
3.
2.
DK2 is a hack, so it's not really, wasn't an official. No, it was. It's a ROM hack. It's not an official. It's not an official licensed game from Nintendo.
All right, so we got Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3. What's
Crazy Kong?
Crazy Kong.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So for the ranking system for the Donkey Kong community, You have to get these great, incredible scores over all 4 of those games.
All 4 games, yep. So, like, for example, rank D, a kill screen on Donkey Kong, kill screen on Donkey Kong Jr., kill screen on Crazy Kong, and 1,000,000 points on Donkey Kong 3 on easy.
Wait. That's rank D.
Yeah, so it's hardcore.
What are the other 3?
Yeah. So like rank C is like 1,000,000 points on Donkey Kong.
Okay.
1.1 million on DK Jr., 1,000,000 points on hard on DK3, and 650 on Crazy Kong. And there's 2 people that have done that.
What is A? Because there's
2 people that have done that. So,
2 people have done.
Okay, so A done C. No one's done B or A.
Why does it exist then?
Because people are close. People are close.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got to get all 4 to be rank A.
Okay. So yeah, we'll skip B. What's A? What's the ultimate?
A is 1.13 million on DK. 1.3 million on Junior. What's called a RBS, repetitive blue screen, on DK3.
And that's sorry to interrupt. Separate to a kill screen.
Yeah. It's called the repetitive blue screen. It's the kill screen equivalent.
Runs on Windows 95. Is that right?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So, it's probably too in depth for this interview, but only 2 people have ever done that.
Have ever done the RBS?
Myself and George Riley. Yeah. Okay. And then 750,000 on Crazy Kong.
Man, I can't even get 100K on Donkey Kong.
It's hardcore. And if you want to go a step further, there's actually a rank S.
Of course, you need a rank S.
Rank S. It's
world record.
Basically, it is, but it's not quite that hardcore. But it's every single rank A requirement within 24 hours.
Oh no! How long? Okay, so a kill screen game on Donkey Kong, like a 1,000,000 point game, 3 to 4 hours.
Say 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
What are the rest? Everything else about 3 hours.
Junior 3 hours, DK3 2.5 probably,
okay.
And Crazy Kong is 2.5 as well. Yeah.
That's give or take half a day. That's 12 hours.
So you want to say 12 hours.
But let's say that you're having a
24-hour period.
Yeah, but let's say you're having like a good Donkey Kong game, but you're only, you get about halfway through and you realize that you're on track for like 700,000. You have to sync that whole game and then start again, and that's like an hour and a half of progress.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
There was one caveat though. The timer starts when you achieve the first achievement, and so once you do one, the 24-hour timer starts after that.
After you've done your first achievement.
The first one, because you can't start the timer straight away because there's restarts and. Yeah, so if you do one, the 24-hour timer starts, you've got to do the next 3.
Yeah.
And the 24-hour period. Yeah.
How far off are you from, let's just say rank A?
I've done 2 of the rank A requirements.
Okay.
I'm rank B on another and C on another.
Okay, so overall, does that put
2
you
out
at
of 4.
C? That puts you at a C?
Yeah, overall C. Yeah, overall C. I'm close to rank B, which I'll be the first one there, and sort of close to rank A, but not quite. Yeah. There's one person that's done 3 of the rank A requirements.
Okay, who's that?
Phil Tubos. He's a Canadian.
Okay. Oh. I was going to say, if you were to put money down on the first person to reach rank A, Phil?
Yeah, probably Phil. But the thing is DK3 is a shooter. The other games aren't, and he doesn't play shooters, and so he's really good at the other 3.
Wait. It's like a point blank shooter?
No. It's a vertical Galaga type.
I'm gonna, I got to give this guy some pointers. We got to see that rank A.
Yeah. DK3. So it's a lot different than the other games, which is really good because it makes the whole ranking system encompasses all these different platforms, not just like DK type games. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Interesting. Man. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Do you think we're far off? Maybe like by the end of the year?
If things go well, I think end of the year. It just depends on DK when I can pump that out.
All right.
I'm close now.
You by the end of the year, you're going to be rank A.
Yeah, me. I mean, sorry, Phil. He don't really care too much, but okay. I know he's secretly practicing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So that's your current goal. That's what you're shooting towards at the moment.
Pretty much, yeah. I've got a couple other games in mind that I want to start at, but we'll keep those secret for now and see what happens. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, I like this. I like
yeah.
this. Actually, you don't want to give me the scoop, but I can get the dirt.
Not really. Nah. I do want to do some DK Junior world record attempts at some stage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat on the bone on that game, so
Yeah.
would be cool. The record's been there for about, I want to say, 7 or 8 years now, so it's time for it to be broken. Yeah.
And who holds that record? Sorry, just because.
Mark Keel from USA.
Okay.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, and once again, I don't know when this is coming out, but it may have changed in the time like of this recording and the release.
Yeah.
Very recently, in the last 3 or so weeks, the Donkey Kong record was broken once again. By Robbie Lakeman, correct?
Lakeman, yeah. He got it back for the 3rd or 4th time, or however many it is, yeah.
It's interesting because it feels like the Donkey Kong record's been beaten at least every 6 months.
It seems that way. It does seem that way. I don't know. There's so much competition on that game. It's just crazy how good these people are getting.
Yeah.
There is a ceiling, but people just keep breaking through that ceiling. We don't know how high it's going to go, honestly.
I'm glad you mentioned the ceiling because I was listening to Sean Ruland's podcast, Play It Up podcast. If anyone's into podcast or arcade podcasts, or more specifically, please give a listen to it. It's really, really good. And he's talking about, that theoretical ceiling where people have looked at the absolute best scores that various people have had on different screens. And it's theorized to be about 1.4 million, maybe higher than that.
So it's a theoretical max. That's never going to happen. I can tell you that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only way we're ever going to see that is our main save states. I think that's like...
just not going to happen. People said 1.2 wasn't possible. Obviously, people have smashed it now. The world record's 1,260,000. Now they're saying maybe 1.3, but as you go up, every single 100 points is so much harder to get.
Yeah.
And it just becomes insanely hard to improve. I think theoretically it can get to maybe 1.28, maybe a little bit higher, but we'll see. Someone could come along, and that's what happens. Yeah.
We did mention, so you are the Australasian.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we can say Southern Hemisphere if you want to go that far.
Southern Hemisphere, so even bigger than that.
Even better.
Matthew Tecchio, who you've just beaten for this, he's an Australian competitor, and he's the first Australian to get 1 million points.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
Only Australian.
We all thought Alan Stall was going to get it first.
Yeah.
And then Tecchio, who's only been playing for a year, give or take?
I want to say probably maybe 2 years now.
2 years.
He turned up to Aussie Kong off 2,
which
must have been 2 years ago.
Yeah. And there are some people who've been playing this game for decades.
Yep.
They still can't reach that.
Alan Stoll. He's one of them.
Yeah. Who do you think will be next to beat you?
Probably Tecchio.
Again?
Yeah. Yep. He's the only one that's really, really close, and he's going to be pushing for it. He wants to get a much, much bigger score, yeah. So I expect him to beat that definitely before the end of the year, unless I improve my own score. But, he's capable of much, much higher than what he's got.
So speaking of these people who've been playing certain games for years or just been playing arcades for years, what's sort of your earliest memory, fondest earliest memory for playing arcades?
Like me and Dad and my brother, we used to go to some, not really, I wouldn't call them arcades, but sort of like gaming places where they had, when Nintendo 64 come out and PlayStation, all that, PlayStation 1. And they had some cabs there, arcade cabs, and Dad would play Galaga and Space Invaders, and I think that's where I picked it up from, really. And that's probably my, probably the best memories I have. As I say, arcades weren't really a thing here ever. There might have been a few cabinets around, but it was more, and especially when I was growing up, it was more the console stuff, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, yeah.
And so we've talked a little bit about BPAC and the big events that happen at BPAC. We've talked little bit about, you know, the ones that happen in Santa Fe, the Meow Wolf ones, Squall Wars, for example. What would you like to see happen in the Southern Hemisphere specifically, in terms of competitive arcade retro gaming?
Honestly, I think you guys over there are doing it. You guys have got the Aussie arcade champs. You've got the Kong offs. Not really much more you can ask for, honestly. There isn't. It's such a niche hobby that if you do more and more events, it's just going to split people, you know, over them instead of congregating all at one. As I say, like, I've been doing this hobby for a long time. In the first 15 years or whatever, 10, 15 years of the hobby, there was no events that I could go to. And now there's all these, you know, I came to Australia, I think 5 times last year for these events, which is just madness, you know. So honestly, I don't have any like requests, or, you know, I don't have any ideas of what we could do, which is even more. I don't know. Yeah, at the moment, it's perfect for me.
Now you saying that you came over last year 5 times for
I think so, something ridiculous. Yeah.
I remember, especially with the Ultimate Denizen that happened at Netherworld, there was a big community kind of rallying around you specifically to get you over here.
Yeah.
How does that feel as this like niche gamer?
It's just so awesome, you know. It's not even about the games. It's just about, I've made such good friends with all you guys over there. And it's just friends meeting up, and, you know, there's video game contest on the side, you know, that sort of thing. It's just an excuse to come over, but it's just amazing, really. Now, I sort of wish there was a community like that here in New Zealand, but there's not the arcade games here. There's not the barcades. There's just, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's so awesome to come over and see you guys and hang out and play games. Yeah.
I just want to. That was very, very beautifully put, man. And a community with games on the side. That's
what it is. Honestly, that's what it is. It could, like, it wouldn't matter if it was games or, you know, knitting or whatever. It would just hang out and have fun and, you know, drink a beer and you know, have a good time. That's what it's about. That's the games are on the side though. They're not the priority, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that so much. But you did say in that answer that there's not a whole lot happening in New Zealand. Does that feel like it's changing?
Yeah. There was a barcade that's opened up in Christchurch, my hometown in the South Island. It's been open a couple of years, maybe now, 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, the barcade that opened up in Auckland, where I am now, had to close because of COVID. That was going really well. You know, it was an awesome place. I loved it. I went there a lot, but that's closed now, unfortunately. But the arcade scene it's basically non-existent. Pinball, on the other hand, is incredibly massive. It's just ridiculously huge over here. So, I mean, that's a positive too. I sometimes go to the pinball events just to hang out.
We're pretty much going to wrap it up there, man. But before we go, is there any closing statements, any remarks that you want to make?
Not really, no. I'm just looking forward to coming back over, and I don't think I'm gonna make it over this year, which is a real shame, you know, because of how many times I came over last year. But it's the way of the world, and, you know, I'll be back next year for the Kong off and AAC 2, hopefully, if that goes ahead.
Yep.
And whatever else I can jimmy my way into. So.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get to see each other in person soon. Have a beer. Hang out, play some games. And is there anything you wanted to plug?
I'll plug. There's a thing called the Kong League now, so it's like a league centered around Donkey Kong, which is just taken off massively, and we're doing streaming and commentary and that sort of thing now. So if you're keen on Donkey Kong, search Kong League. There's a Discord which is the main hub for it, or join Donkey Kong Forum, I guess, donkeykongforum.com.
Awesome, man. Cool beans. Well, yeah, once again, stay safe, dude. Make sure to keep washing your hands. You should be doing that all the time.
Yeah, should be doing that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, stay safe, dude, so that we can hang out again.
Yeah, appreciate it, Tyson. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
Cheers. You too. Cheers, mate. See ya.